Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this evening's headlines. Fourth phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. 53 assembly seats in 12 districts to witness polling in which fate of many high-profile candidates will be decided. India and China hold upgraded strategic dialogue to resolve differences over New Delhi's NSG bid and UN ban on JEM chief Masood Azhar. Both sides express commitment to develop positive relations despite differences. Shurozile Lezetso was sworn in as Chief Minister of Nagaland. 11 ministers also administered oath of office and secrecy at the Raj Bhavan in Kohima. US intensifies crackdown on undocumented immigrants. New guidelines to allow for arrests of undocumented immigrants for offences like traffic violations and shoplifting. Well, election is in overdrive and campaigning too is taking place extensively across Uttar Pradesh, and our focus on the Bulletin is going to be on the ongoing elections in Verdict 2017. "53 assembly seats of the 12 districts of Uttar Pradesh will vote in the fourth phase on Thursday. High decibel campaigning was witnessed in the state for this phase by heavyweights from all the political parties to woo the voters. Here's more.
Campaigning came to a close on Tuesday for the fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Districts of the Bundelkhand region, Jalo, Jhansi, Lalitpur, Mahoba, Banda, Hamirpur, Chitrakoot, Fatehpur and districts of Pratapgarh, Kaushambi, Allahabad and Raebareli will go to polls on Thursday. In the 2012 assembly polls, the ruling Samajwadi Party had won 24 seats of the 53 that were at stake. The Bahujan Samaj Party won 15, the Congress 6, the BJP 5 and Peace Party 3 seats.
Bundelkhand area has not really voted in favor of any particular party in the last 2-3 elections, but there has been a tendency of the people there to make a change in their choices every time. So last time, since the Samajwadi Party seemed to have a large sway over the people all over the state, but this time, because of the fact that nothing much has happened to change the lives of people in Bundelkhand, there could be a change in the voters' perception that this government may not have done what was expected of them.
680 candidates are in the fray in this phase, the maximum number of them being from Allahabad North constituency, 26 candidates. 1 crore 84 lakh voters are eligible to exercise their franchise. They include 1 crore 31,000 male voters and around 84 lakh 50,000 female voters. The Election Commission has set up 19,487 polling stations and 23,924 electronic voting machines. Extensive security arrangements are in place and companies of paramilitary forces and the police have been deployed to ensure peaceful polling.
There are overall 28 Vidhan Sabha constituencies, of which we have identified certain constituencies as especially sensitive. Not that all other places, all other polling stations have not been taken care of. We have gone by area approach, and the area means not only the polling station but the area in the vicinity of the polling station where the voters reside. Traditionally, the form of poll violence or poll intimidation has comprised not action at the polling station per se, but the voters who wanted to come to the polling station have been intimidated prior to the polling day itself.
The BSP is fighting on all 53 seats, while the BJP is contesting in 48. The Samajwadi Party has put up candidates on 33, while the Congress has fielded 25 candidates. Key candidates to look out for in the fourth phase are BSP rebel Swami Prasad Maurya's son Utkarsh Maurya, Aradhna Mishra, daughter of Rajya Sabha member Pramod Tiwari, and Ujjwal Raman Singh, son of senior Samajwadi Party leader Reti Raman Singh. Independent Raghuraj Pratap Singh and Aditi Singh, the daughter of Congress leader Akhilesh Singh.
Issues like demonetization, unemployment, law and order and woes of the Bundelkhand region shall find resonance among the voters in the fourth phase of UP elections. After a verbal free-for-all and personal jibes, the Samajwadi Party, along with its alliance partner, shall try to defend its turf, while the opposition BJP and BSP would endeavour to wrest a sizable chunk. Reporting from Allahabad, with camera person Narvin, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, joining me for a chat right now live from Allahabad is our correspondent Kriti Mishra. Kriti, what are the kind of preparations that are in place ahead of the fourth phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh?
Well, Frank, the Election Commission has put in serious endeavours to conduct a free and fair polls and also to motivate voters. Now, to lure youth specifically, it has collaborated with Facebook. So there's a link called Register for Your Vote, which directs you to National Voters Services Portal that gives you all the information about registration, etc. So Election Commission is taking that extra care to make sure that information is disseminated across large sections of the society. In Uttar Pradesh specifically, there's a bus called Voters Express, which has all poll-related paraphernalia. The Election Commission is also organizing competitions like Mehndi competition, slogan competition and painting competition to encourage youth. As far as security measures are concerned, security measures have been beefed up across 12 districts that are going to polls tomorrow. So there has been deployment of central paramilitary forces, police personnel, home guards, and also for the first time specifically in Uttar Pradesh, the Election Commission is using this novel software called PDMS, which is a poll day monitoring system. Now, this is a software where it will get the real-time updates and feedback from all the polling stations across 12 districts, now which will be directly going to the election commissioner sitting in the state capital of Lucknow and also to the district magistrate. There's also QRT, which is quick response team. So within 10 minutes, they have to get back to, they have to rather fix any anomaly, any discrepancy, be it of the EVM or any other poll illegality. So the election commission has made sure that the elections in the fourth phase go on peacefully. Frank?
Indeed, of course, the Election Commission has been ensuring that polls go on peacefully right across this polling season, of course. But as far as some of the key candidates for tomorrow are concerned, who are some of them, Kriti?
Well, Frank, all eyes would be on Raebareli, which is the parliamentary turf of Congress President Sonia Gandhi, wherein Akhilesh Singh, who has been the strong man of sorts, he's been contesting Raebareli Sadr seat for the last 25 years, and he's considered invincible and unassailable. So his daughter, in fact, Aditi Singh, is now there to carry on the baton. So Raebareli would be one. There's another, Pramod Tiwari, another Sabha MP sitting Rajya Sabha MP right now. His daughter Aradhana Mishra would also be in fray. Independent, another strong man, Raghunath, who's also known as Raja Bhaiya in the state, he would also be contesting. And also Swami Prasad Maurya's son, Utkarsh, would also be contesting. So all these key constituencies and all these key seats, rather, we would be looking at very, very closely because these are all the names that have grabbed headlines and grabbed eyeballs for quite some time. Frank?
All right, Kriti Mishra, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details. Now, the stage is set for the fourth phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh that will be held on Thursday. Our correspondent Panchanan Mishra took stock of the poll preparation in Chitrakoot district of the state. Let's take a look.
The stage is set for the fourth phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh. In this phase, there are 53 seats under 12 districts of Uttar Pradesh. And in this phase, there are 19 seats of Bundelkhand. We are here at one of the district, Chitrakoot Dhamkarvi, for this Bundelkhand area, and it contains 2 seats. You can see the polling parties are here and they are preparing for departure while taking their respective EVM machines, and they are preparing for the free and fair polling which is going to be held on 23rd of February. Election Commission has made also elaborate security arrangements for the free and fair polling, because in the last 3 phases there are the more than expected polling in the last 3 phases. So the Election Commission is taking every chances to increase the polling percentage. And this phase in the 53 seats is always crucial for all the political parties, including BJP, Samajwadi Party, Congress Alliance, or the BSP. In Chitrakoot, with camera Sushil Kumar, this is Panchanan Mishra for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, as Uttar Pradesh gears up to hold the fourth phase of its assembly elections on Thursday, political parties continued their fierce campaigning in districts that are going to polls in subsequent phases. Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav held a public rally in Barech. During the rally, Akhilesh once again attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi over demonetization. BSP President Mayawati and BJP President Amit Shah also held several public meetings in the districts.
वो उन्होंने जिम्मेदारी से
Campaigning for the Samajwadi Party Congress alliance, UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav held a public rally in Bahraich, which will vote in the fifth phase on February 27th. Speaking to voters about the way both parties decided on seat sharing, Akhilesh insisted that friendship was always at the core of the alliance. The UP CM also attacked PM Modi over the issue of demonetization and black money.
और जनता इतने वर्षों में अभी तक नहीं समझ पाई इनकी मन की बात, बताओ कोई समझ पाया? और हमने तो प्रधानमंत्री जी से कहा कि कब करोगे काम की बात, ये भी बता जाओ हमें। कोई एक काम किया हो तो बताओ।
Meanwhile, BJP President Amit Shah held public meetings in Sultanpur, Azamgarh and Gorakhpur districts, all of which vote in the sixth phase on March 4th. Addressing the crowd, Shah maintained that BJP will get full majority in UP and there is no question of any post-poll alliance with the BSP or any other party.
मित्रों, जहां जहां गया भाजपा की आंधी देखी है, आंधी देखी है। मित्रों, मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि आने वाले दिनों में 11 मार्च को उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर 2/3 बहुमत से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने वाली है।
BSP Chief Mayawati also addressed an election rally in Faizabad. During the rally, she slammed both the ruling Samajwadi Party and the BJP. While hitting back at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, she said that BJP is now being called the Bharatiya Jumla Party. Mayawati continued to warn voters that if the BJP comes to power, all reservations will go away.
लोगों को इस चुनाव में अपने खुद के व प्रदेश के हित में भी अपना वोट यहाँ सपा, कांग्रेस, बीजेपी व अन्य विरोधी पार्टियों को न देकर केवल अपनी पार्टी बहुजन समाज पार्टी को ही देना है।
The BSP Supremo's retort came a day after Modi, at an election rally in Bundelkhand region, noted that BSP is no longer the Bahujan Samaj Party. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Moving on to some other news now, the Madras High Court adjourned the DMK's petition seeking to declare the Chief Minister Palaniswamy's vote of confidence null and void. The court has also sought credible evidence to prove that AIADMK MLAs were held captive in a resort and asked for video evidence of the House proceedings. Last week, Palaniswamy won the trust vote with 122 MLAs in the 234-member assembly. While the DMK's 89 MLAs were evicted, its allies staged a walkout. The DMK then moved a no-confidence motion against the Assembly Speaker, with the party's working President M.K. Stalin accusing him of being biased. Two separate pleas were filed by the DMK and an advocate representing Advocates' Forum for Social Justice, asking the High Court to declare the trust vote as illegal. The next court hearing is on Monday. Well, Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari arrived in Uganda on the last leg of his two-nation tour of Africa. He was received at the international airport in the capital Kampala by the Ugandan counterpart Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi. This is the first high-level bilateral visit from the country to Uganda since 1997. Today's itinerary includes an official meeting with the President and the Vice President of Uganda and a business event. Well, China and India held their upgraded strategic dialogue to shore up bilateral ties. Wednesday's talks come amid hectic parleys to resolve differences over Beijing's reluctance to support India's NSG bid, as well as a UN ban on Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar. Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar held the strategic dialogue with China's Executive Vice Foreign Minister Zhang Yesui. On the issue of differences between both countries, Jaishankar claimed that there are natural issues which neighbors have and it is the responsibility of both countries to address them. Just before the dialogue, the Foreign Secretary also held talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Wang said China and India are two major developing countries and emerging markets besides important nations in the world. He also said that the strategic dialogue will enhance communication, reduce misunderstanding and build more trust and deepen strategic cooperation. Jaishankar said that the dialogue reflects how India and China's relationship today has gone well beyond bilateral manifestations. In other news now, Nagaland People's Front President Shurozele Lezitsu has been sworn in as the 17th Chief Minister of Nagaland. He was invited by Governor P.B. Acharya to form the next government after the ruling Democratic Alliance of Nagaland unanimously elected him leader of its legislature party earlier this week. Shurozele, an 8-time MLA, did not contest assembly elections in 2013 and will now have to get elected through a by-election within 6 months. Outgoing Chief Minister T.R. Jiliang had stepped down on Sunday in the wake of violent protests that broke out when his government wanted to hold municipal elections with 33% reservation for women. Well, the central government today said that it had no plans to introduce 1,000 rupee notes and that its focus is on increasing production of lower denomination currencies. In a tweet, Economic Affairs Secretary Shaktikanta Das also said that complaints of cash shortages at ATMs were being addressed and requested people to desist from withdrawing more money than they needed. Last week, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the remonetization situation with regard to replenishing the scrap currency was almost normal. The government had announced withdrawal of old 500 and 1,000 rupee notes in November last year with an aim to check black money, counterfeit notes and terror financing. Moving on to some international news now, the US administration issued tough new orders to start a sweeping crackdown on undocumented immigrants, putting nearly all of the country's 11 million undocumented foreigners in line for deportation. The new order makes it easier for officials to automatically expel undocumented immigrants over charges of traffic violations or shoplifting along with other serious crimes. In a move aimed at intensifying the crackdown on undocumented immigrants, the US administration issued guidelines to widen the net for deporting illegal immigrants. According to Homeland Security Department memos, the undocumented immigrants arrested for traffic violations or shoplifting will be targeted along with those convicted of more serious crimes.
This morning, Secretary Kelly and the Department of Homeland Security released memos regarding the implementation of 2 of the President's executive orders that are designed to protect the homeland. These 2 memos provide explicit guidance to DHS staff on how to carry out 2 executive orders signed by the President on January 25th, one dealing with interior enforcement and one dealing with border security. Perhaps most critically, the President is empowering DHS to carry out the immigration laws currently on the books.
Meanwhile, Amnesty International group signaled out Donald Trump as an example of an angrier and more divisive politics. In a report, the group criticized several other world leaders, saying that dehumanized rhetoric was creating a more divided and dangerous world.
We have ended up in this situation where human rights have been sacrificed at the altar of politics. And the last message really is that leaders and governments are failing us. But fortunately, people are standing up. And we've seen this now in the United States with post-Trump election. But we've seen this in the Gambia and West Africa. We are seeing it in all parts of the world. And in fact, that's the call we are making to people across the world, that if you want to make a difference, this is the time to stand in the way. Stand in the way of hate and discrimination and stand for humanity.
The new memos do not alter US immigration laws, but take a much tougher approach towards enforcing existing measures. The orders also make it easier for officials to automatically expel undocumented immigrants. There are an estimated 11 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised his Australian counterpart Malcolm Turnbull for calling out the hypocrisy of the United Nations. Turnbull rebuked the UN for adopting what he labelled one-sided resolutions that are critical of Israel's settlements in Palestinian territories. The comments, outlined in an opinion piece in the Australian newspaper, were welcomed by Netanyahu on the first day of his Australian visit. Australia rolled out a warm red carpet 21-gun salute welcome on Wednesday to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The first ever visit by a sitting Prime Minister to Australia whose friendship toward Israel dates back a century.
Honored to be the first Israeli Prime Minister to officially visit Australia. God, it's been a long time coming. And it celebrates really 100 years of friendship of Australia to the Jewish people and their state.
Using words like miracle and envy of the world to describe Israel, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull greeted Netanyahu and his wife Sarah on the lush lawns of Admiralty House in Sydney, the residence of Australia's Governor-General. Turnbull reaffirmed Australia's commitment to a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict on Wednesday, but said the government would not join those seeking to chastise Israel alone for the failure of that peace process.
We do not support one-sided resolutions which condemn or criticise Israel of that kind. We haven't done in the past and we won't in the future. It's a complex problem. It needs to be resolved by direct negotiations between the parties. And we certainly encourage that. So that is our position, and it's been consistent. We are a very committed friend of Israel. We are a very consistent friend.
Meanwhile, speaking about a possible resolution to the Arab-Israeli conflict, Netanyahu said that Israel wants the Palestinians to have all the power to govern themselves, but not the military or physical power to threaten it. The question of a Palestinian state, he said, repeating his statement from last week's visit to Washington, was not over labels, but rather over substance.
It's not conceivable that people will say the Palestinians should have a state and continue to call for the annihilation of the Jewish state, Israel. So obviously asking the Palestinians to recognize a Jewish state is mandatory, and people must do that. Secondly, we know that in the realities of the Middle East, if Israel is not there to ensure security, then that state very quickly will become another bastion of radical Islam. So this is what I've been talking about.
Israel for decades has pursued a policy of constructing Jewish settlements on territory captured by it in a 1967 war with its Arab neighbors, including the West Bank, Gaza and East Jerusalem. Most countries view Israeli settlement activity in the West Bank and East Jerusalem as illegal and an obstacle to peace. Israel disagrees, citing a biblical connection to the land. The two-state solution has long been the bedrock of Washington and the international community's policy for a settlement between Israel and the Palestinians. Trump's apparent loosening of a main tenet of U.S. Middle Eastern policy at a joint news conference with Netanyahu last week stunned the international community. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. And finally, here's some sports news in Sports Beat. India will take on Australia in the first of the 4 test matches at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium on Thursday. India going into the series seeking their 7th successive series win and are on an unbeaten 19-game run. Australia, on the other hand, have not won a test in India since 2004-2005. Ross Taylor became New Zealand's leading one-day international centurion as the Black Caps defeated South Africa by 6 runs in the second ODI at Christchurch. Taylor scored his 17th ODI century with an unbeaten 102 as New Zealand posted 289 for 4. Seamers Trent Boult and Tim Southee then restricted South Africa to 283 for 9 to level the 5-match series at 1 apiece. Manchester City secured a thrilling 5-3 victory over Monaco in the first leg of the last 16 of their tie in the UEFA Champions League. City took the lead through Raheem Sterling but went behind as Monaco scored twice before half-time. Sergio Aguero then scored a brace and Stones finished with a simple tap to give City a 2-goal cushion ahead of the second leg. That's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.